bem-vindos à TV Franchising. Nesse programa nós vamos falar com Alan Branch, que é o principal da Globl Business Development, uma empresa australiana. Ele esteve aqui conosco no ano passado e esse ano ele vai passar para a gente as impressões que ele teve nesses últimos 12 meses, o que mudou no mercado australiano e também as 4 marcas que ele está trazendo aqui para o pavilhão. Hi, how are you, Alan?
Very well, thanks, Pedro. Yourself?
Thanks for coming. I'm doing very well, thank you. It's great to have you back here, and I hope you enjoy Brazil as much as you enjoyed last time.
Yes, I'm amazed at just how even bigger the Brazil Expo is this year from last year. I've walked around and I'm glad I brought good shoes on because it is such a big expo.
Yeah, we became the #1 expo in the world, the largest floor plan in the world.
Excellent. Yes, I'm sure Paris will fight hard.
They're jealous now.
They're jealous. Yes.
They got the second place. As a Brazilian, I never thought Brazil at some point in time would be first place in something like this. So it's a very interesting times for us.
Well, I've been following your economy, and it just gets bigger and bigger and better with the World Cup and the Olympics and mining boom. It's wonderful, and I think franchising is coming along as well.
Yeah, franchising is booming, definitely. But you're talking about market size.
Yes.
It seems that Brazil, although we are growing a lot and very fast, we still have lots of room to grow because you in Australia have a less population and a much larger GDP, right?
Yes, what even America realises is that there are more franchises in Australia per population than America, and Brazil is also catching up as well. I think people love franchising because it's a proven business model, and if you're an investor, you're buying into a brand that's very successful, and everyone else has already tried and made little mistakes. And as the person buying the brand is not going to make the mistakes. So it's good from that point of view.
It's safer.
It is a lot safer. And I think innovation picks up as well, so that someone within the organisation can spend lots of time working out what the new computer should be, instead of an owner who's just making their own decisions. They could never catch up. So I like franchising. I also like it for the fact that it could be food, it could be services, it could be
so diverse.
All sorts of things. And so when I meet people here at the Expo, every one of them have different questions, but it's good. Franchising can answer all those questions, but just from a different angle.
Alan, we were here 12 months ago. We were not facing the economic crisis that Europe is facing now. What that changes for the Australian market?
Well, with Australia, about 25% of all franchises go overseas. And what an entrepreneur like a franchise sees, they see opportunities in Europe. They see opportunities in America because other people have got worried and they're uncertain as to what's going on. Someone coming from outside to those countries see the opportunities, and I think that's what franchising does. Is it hones in on what's missing, and even maybe Greece, maybe not. That maybe be too hard to go to, but in all the countries, Spain and Italy, very good, and certainly all through America, because America is doing it tough, but Australian brands are coming to America, and this year I've been very fortunate that I have had brands come here to Brazil. And last year you might remember that I was the only Australian here. Today, this is the first day of the Expo, I've already met 3 Australians who now live in Brazil and are looking for Australian franchises to come here. So I'm very, very happy.
So triple.
Yes.
That's a great increase.
yes. No, it's very good. I feel very surprised that I suddenly hear an Australian accent sort of walking past.
And we have some Australian operations here in Brazil.
Oh yes, yes.
I believe Outback is Australian.
That's right.
Applebee's is
And Pet Wash is another one, and Boost Juice is another. Pool Works is also another Australian franchise that's come here and is very successful.
So they're doing business in Brazil and they're doing
already,
very
yes.
well, right?
Yep. And I'm looking to bring some here as well. Which,
Well, let's talk about the opportunities you're bringing, because
Okay.
it seems that you're bringing 4 different brands to Brazil.
Yes, the brands I brought are all different. So one is Sombrero, which is a Mexican food designed specifically for attracting females who like to have a good tasty meal rather
Females that they take care of their bodies.
Exactly. This is Mexican food for someone with a good figure,
Okay.
which is very different. And they also have a very high moral standard, because for every plate that someone buys, they donate a plate of food to the underprivileged. So it's a plate for plate system.
That's great.
And so that
So it's almost a social business.
it is, yes, and that's very attractive to the Gen Y groups. And of course, here in Brazil, your average age is 27 years of age. So there's a lot of young people who would be interested in knowing more about Sombrero.
So that's Umbrero.
Yes,
How many franchises do you have in Australia?
they have 25 franchises in Australia, and they have a lot more opening. And this year, they were rated as the #1 franchise in Australia by BRW, which is the major magazine for business.
Are they opening franchises in other countries by any chance?
They have negotiations in 4 more countries, but they've asked me to concentrate on Brazil as a major.
Is this a sort of a fast food or a restaurant type?
It's more fast food, very simple to set up. It doesn't need a chef, and if you imagine a variation on a Subway, it's compact and very quick service.
And light.
And light, yes.
That's the key. That's the key word.
That's right. Yeah, their slogan is happiness is a soft tortilla. So that attracts the ladies.
Soft margaritas as well.
Maybe, yeah, if the licensing can do it. It's right.
And the other brand that you're bringing is this one,
It's a blow dry bar.
Globl bar.
Yes, there's a market opportunity that people normally would think that a lady would have a blow dry of her hair at a hairdressing salon, but it's been found that it's much better to have a specialist, and so that they can come in, they can have a glass of champagne, they can have a chat to their local stylist, and they can walk away very quickly looking beautiful with a blow dry. And they can also they can have hair extensions, but something very specialist. It's a great business. People are happy, and there's lots and lots of people that want to have these salons, because they also don't need to be a specialist hairdresser. We have people that own them who drive trucks, who just invest the money, and then they have people run the business themselves.
So, if a lady goes to the blow dry bar, she won't be able to get her hair cut, but
No.
she can get only the
That's right, because she'll go to a hairdresser once every 6 weeks. In between, she still
goes
needs to look beautiful. So in between, she'll go and have the blow dry bar look after her hair, maybe 2, maybe 10 times, and then every 6 weeks she'll go back to a hairdresser and have it cut again.
So instead of looking great, for one day every 6 weeks, you look great,
That's the idea, yes?
every
Yep.
other day.
Yep. And when I look at the ladies walking out of the salon, you can see how happy they are.
How much do they pay for a hair dry?
In US dollars, in Australia, it would be $35, and ladies will come maybe once a week or 3 times a week. It depends on what they like to do.
Interesting. And what kind of investments are we looking at, to bring this brand to Brazil?
The very good thing is that it's around about $120,000 for the full setup of the business, which in world terms is very inexpensive. The costings in Brazil might actually be a bit lower because of the way that you can make things so well here. So that you're able to open up lots and lots and lots of these very quickly.
Okay, and the other brand is Seduction.
Seduce.
Seduce.
Yes. Now, if anyone is listening to this interview, and I'm sure because you're on this, Pedro, everyone's listening, be very careful if you look at the website, do type in www.seduce.com.au. If you leave off the .au, you go to another site altogether. It's
more of a red tube.
Well, I think they forget the clothing on the other side.
So it's more of a seduction rather than
yes,
seduce.
Exactly, yes. Now.
So don't forget the .au, right?
Thank you. Yes,
okay.
Yes, very important, especially if the children are watching.
Okay. So what's Seduce about?
Well, Seduce is a very sophisticated young person's garment manufacturer. They have over 200 locations already. They manufacture 6 different selections every year. So 2 winter and 4 summer selections. Each selection has 80 brands of clothes within each selection. And as you can see, some beautiful, elegant gowns and dresses and cocktail dresses. Very
it's
much
more
for
for
the
cocktail dresses and
for the young woman. So the lady who is looking for something sophisticated, but
not as expensive.
Not as expensive. This is very available.
And all manufactured in Australia?
All designed in Australia, but manufactured in quality locations in China.
Okay. And
then distributed around the world.
And you have locations in Australia and other countries?
Yes, in Kuwait, through the Middle East, and then exporting to a range of suppliers all around the world. So it's and today when I met an Australian, she knew the brand. In fact, she was wearing, here in Brazil, I was amazed. Here in Brazil, she was wearing a Seduce dress that she'd brought back to Brazil. So
it's a brand for more of 20, 30 years old?
Exactly, yes, yep. Now they do have 2 other brands, one for slightly younger and one for slightly older, but Seduce is their number 1 brand.
And what kind of operations you're looking at in Brazil?
Yes, what they're looking for is a person to own the import rights and then to set up as many salons and also distribute at a wholesale basis, so that it's a very big business that someone could take on.
Oh, that's great. So those are the 3 major brands they're bringing.
Yep. Well, one other one which we talked about, which was
There's
complicated.
Another one that is, you told me that is a little complicated. Let's give it a try.
I'll keep it
BBX.
very simple. Yep. So BBX is a barter exchange, which is, people would call it a trade dollars. So that if someone has a business but it's not at full capacity, what they can do is they can become a member of BBX, and they can be given an interest-free credit of trade dollars, which they can then use to actually create more business. And what BBX does is it can help people find places in, say, hotels or restaurants, but it also can help you buy houses. In Malaysia, just recently, they bought 450 BMWs using BBX dollars. So
it's more of trading.
Exactly.
Trading services, trading products.
Yep.
So it's not that difficult.
That's right. And for you, it's not difficult. I'm very impressed. And they have their own credit card. Everything is official. And they also have people within the organisation that help you. So that if you and I are both members of BBX, then someone will ring us and actually say, "How are you going? Do you know someone else that might actually want to trade with you?"
Sure.
And so that they keep it as a compact, friendly group.
Okay. So you have a currency for that. What's the name of the currency?
It's called BBX dollars.
BBX dollars.
Now in Brazil, of course, dollars would mean real. If it was in Poland, it would be zlotys.
So
that, but it's for each currency, it's the same as the real currency.
And what's the discount rate that the BBX charges on the operations, on the
Right.
transactions?
They charge a small percentage on each transaction, and then they help all of the members to do their business, so that it's a good trade-off between a small service fee, but then they help people find other business to do, and they introduce people back and forward.
How much business are they making in Australia?
Well, in Australia they have 4,500 members, so it's a very big business there. They're introducing even the fact that you can use BBX dollars to buy your electricity and pay for things which you would do every day.
Right.
So it's good. In Brazil, it will be the sort of business that someone starts in the long term, because at the start it's always very slow, but once you've got 2,000 or 3,000 members, then it just keeps growing and growing.
And I bet the economy can help or not help with the business. So if the economy is doing very well, it's probably the business takes longer, to take off. If
That's right.
the economy is down, it's probably easier to trade, surplus or.
It is, or it turns out that some members, like every economy, you've got a fast economy for some parts and a slow economy for others. And if the person who owns BBX in Brazil knows which are the slow economies, they're the ones that they go to this year. Sure enough, next year there'll be a different part of the economy that's a bit slow, and that's the one they go to, and they help them out.
Well, that's great, Alan. I hope you have a success here in Brazil, and you'll find the partners, the business partner you're looking for.
Yeah, because certainly, as you introduced me at the start, Global Franchise Partners have involvement in every country around the world, so that we are looking at successful businesses and then moving them around the world. To me, it is such a great thing to be able to see entrepreneurs that just enjoy doing business, and if I can help them, that makes me happy as well.
That's what makes you a happy person, right?
It does, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you for having you again.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next year.
Oh, definitely.
Good.
TV Franchising fica por aqui, nós nos vemos no próximo programa. Até lá.